He cheated.
How did he do that?
I don't know. I don't know what he meant by that.
That's what he said?
On his wife? Is that what you're implying again? Are you trying to get on that road? Or now he's cheated the voters. He's cheated on the voters.
Well, no, he's saying that the vote's inaccurate. I mean, I don't know how.
Is that what he's saying?
Oh yeah.
Where did he say? Who did he say this
I
to?
believe it was fraudulent polling sites in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a
found
minute,
some in
wait
a suitcase.
He forgot to change out some of the words in his Trump rhetoric that he was stealing from a transcript. Well, here we go. So it looks like Palmieri is up by 122 votes, and there are. So we don't know exactly how many absentee ballots there are out there, but during a few interviews I saw yesterday, it looks like about 700. So that's a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
At least that is, I'm pretty sure, what Marino said during an interview last night. There are about 700 absentee ballots out there. So what could happen there? Generally, what normally happens is the person that's ahead. You'd rather be in the position where you're in the lead by 122 votes than not.
The last congressional race.
So, right.
Unless you're the Mets.
Remember, think about it. The congressional race, it took quite some time to. But then again, on the unless you're the Mets,
even a 122-run lead, our bullpen could not hold that.
Or Joe Habaika, if you recall, in the school board race. That was very interesting.
Well, that had 3 winners, 4 runner-ups, and 5 third-place winners.
That was crazy. But as of right now, it looks like Palmieri with it. But would you say there's oftentimes people will say the voters have spoken. There's a mandate. Number one, the turnout was very low. Number two, you're the incumbent in a city where all of these things are going on. Would you say it's a bit of a mandate from the public? The fact that it is so close, it shouldn't be that close.
I agree.
Maybe there's a message there that Mayor Palmieri could take for the good.
The part where
in a constructive way.
The only part of that where I disagree is that if the third term, which was obviously a big issue, and he's been criticized, I think rightly for that, were such an egregious issue that people were so upset about, turnout would have been higher, and they would have said no.
You pointed out one that was a mandate in the South Utica Common Council race. Bob DeSantis.
DeSantis, once again, the no hospital downtown loses another race. Have they won a race yet? No.
I don't think so.
I don't believe that they have. And because in the commercial by DeSantis, he said he questions the hospital downtown.
Yeah.
So that is interesting, and that was not an overly close race in the city of Rome. Certainly a mandate for Mayor Jackie Izzo, winning 80-20 with a wallop. I think that's what I call it. Did I call it a wallop?
Yeah.
She walloped her opponent in the Republican primary. And then in the conservative...
Bill, you're giving Jackie the benefit of the doubt here. It was actually 79.5%.
It was, okay. We'll speak with Jackie later on this morning, Mayor Jackie Izzo. I got to tell you, and I know this is just the primary. It means this is placing people on the ballots, but I think she's doing a phenomenal job in the city of Rome. She's really working for that money. And a lot of that money that's targeting the Utica area, she's had to really work for it. I think that her administration has done a great job. Just my opinion. And then in the county executive's race, we'll talk to County Executive Anthony Piceni later on this morning at 8 o'clock, right after the news. And there's another 67-33, a pretty convincing beating. But so that means there are 2,000 people that would vote for Dave Gordon? And I know they're not, I mean, there's probably a handful that vote for him because they're voting for him. But the rest of those people are an anti-Piceni vote. So you hate Piceni so much that you would put the well-being of the county beneath your hatred in order to cast your vote for that deviant? I do not understand it. And there comes a certain point where you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, boy, I hate that Tony Piceni, But wouldn't it be awful if Dave Gordon got elected? And don't tell me it wouldn't be, because it would be horrific. I think I had heard from a national member of the media yesterday, who I know. Another one I heard from Ryan Nobles, and we'll talk to him later on this morning. And both of them seem to have the same question. What in the hell is going on in that county executive race? And the answer is, I had two answers. It's hate, it's hatred, and God help us all if that guy were to win. I'm just saying. So, but it didn't happen. Thank the Lord. God help us. Every single one of us, even those people that voted for. Even I can only imagine the people that voted for him were probably like, I'm going to do it. I know I can't win. I'm closing my eyes. Okay, I voted for him. I did it. I hate Paseni so much.
Well, see, there's the problem. If they're voting with the X, it's not a full bubble, and then their vote wouldn't count. So, Dave could have, 4,000 more votes out there.
It's all very possible. Anyway, that's what went down. If you want to talk about any of this today, we have and we'll invite any candidates that would like to come on and talk. Maybe now we're able to get Mayor Paul Mary.
I don't think we should have him on.
I
don't think we should have him on.
That's coming
right.
from you. Wow.
Invitation revoked.
You're right. We owe him equal time now?
You're right.
Apparently he doesn't need us.
Apparently he doesn't. That 122 votes worked perfectly fine here.
The absentees have already been sent, we assume, right?
I would imagine that all absentees have to have been sent. They have had.
Now, I'm not saying we don't talk about him.
Not necessarily.
Or issues in the city. I forget it.
Yeah.
They want to come on? No, come on.
I know. What would we have to talk to him about now?
Were there any other big races that I know that Herkimer County had, Madison County had a few, but for the most part, those were the big races yesterday. Pasenti, by the way, also winning the conservative line by pretty much a 2-1 margin. I forget what the exact tally is, but it's actually 103. This is the official tally. And this was a little nerve-wracking because think about it. Only 160 people voted in the conservative primary. And when you have 160 people, you could mount a substantial write-in campaign.
Right. And that was, I think, the line that was really up for grabs yesterday.
Well, Mickey Mouse wasn't too far behind.
That was the line. So there were 57 write-ins. Now, we don't know who. Some of those could be Hennessy. Some of those could be Gordon. Some of those could be could be me. Yeah, I hope that I got a couple of votes out of that. So that I find kind of interesting. 103.57 is the final. Pasenti wins that line. That's a big one because otherwise, let's say Gordon won that line. That would have placed him lingering around, and he wouldn't be able to move away. My campaign is that he put his head down, and move the hell out of Central New York. Please leave and take all your people. Claudia will help you get there. She'll loan you a few dollars. Get the hell out of Dodge.
I told Jeff last night, I said, listen, and Robin, plug your ears. I said, listen, as a service, I'll put your house up for commission free. Sell it.
Anyway, we'll also this morning talk to Ray Durso. This whole parade, hard to believe that 4th of July is next week.
I know.
Yeah.
I heard a spot on our show here on our station that was running, and it's like something about there's some deal going on, and this was like on Monday. Maybe it was for fireworks, but there's a line in the commercial that says the holiday weekend will be over before you know it. And I'm like, the holiday weekend? Yeah,
that's true, though. It really is.
Yeah.
And we'll be
this weekend.
Smack dab into summertime, which the temperatures kind of look like it now, or at least into the mid-80s. I discovered something yesterday that was unbelievable, and I had to pull off the exit just to see if it was true, and it was kind of true. I discovered yesterday, this is big for me, Radio Shack. I had to make a little jaunt and to the south, and at a place called Whitney Point. there was a Radio Shack sign. And I'm like, what is that? So after we got our pictures taken in front of the sign,
It's on the National Registry of Historic Landmarks.
we looked for it, and there was a True Value Hardware, and it said Radio Shack. And I'm like, where? So there's a little grocery store next door, so we went into the grocery store, and we started a whole frenzy in there when we said, is that a Radio Shack next door? I think it is. But is it open? It doesn't look. Everybody's whispering and talking. I'm going to go find out. So the woman leaves, and I can hear in the background saying, are you guys a Radio Shack? I thought so. And she came back out. She's like, yeah, they're a True Value Hardware, but over in that corner, they're a Radio Shack. Honest to God. So I'm thumbing through all sorts of realistic stuff, Tandy, Radio Shack, and you could tell, I mean, the labels are yellowed, and the guy came over, and he's like, can I help you? Yes, I can't believe all these antiques here. It's incredible. And he said apparently there are a handful of stores around the country that are still keeping the Radio Shack flag. Now, we always thought Radio Shack, the stuff you buy there is cheap, but there was some really good things that you could only seem to get at Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Like my little audio connectors, which I treasure.
Yeah.
And you just can't find them anymore.
Yeah.
So sure enough, they had them.
Well, it's ironic that it was next to a True Value because Radio Shack
It
was
was
the hardware store for radio.
It
I
was
mean,
not
if you think about
in it was not next to a True Value.
What did I say?
It was inside the True Value.
It was
It
inside
was
the
a True Value
Value
hardware. Next to the paint was a corner filled with Radio Shack.
Okay.
And the guy said, so we've kept it open. Believe it or not, there's a few that are still... I said,
who's going to
you-
come after him?
Can
you
you
know?
find... No, he's a licensed... There's another company that apparently bought the rights to Radio Shack and
Okay.
all of their stuff.
Interesting.
So he said that you can still get stuff, but it ain't easy. It ain't easy. And I'm like, well, that is incredible.
You got to know
So
a guy.
we purchased some stuff. Some of it didn't work. We found out on the way home, but still,
Most of us.
still,
That's funny.
we picked up some stuff at Radio Shack. Pretty wild.
There is. I just went to their website. There are a lot more locations than you would expect.
It's surprising, right? We thought they were gone, and they still are able to get stuff. Radio Shack made stuff, but I almost feel like there's like one gigantic factory somewhere. It's a warehouse, and it's just filled with a whole bunch of Radio Shack stuff. And they're like, oh yeah,
Overstock.
We're still making stuff. Yeah, let me send that out to you. It's because you've got 9 million items that are.
Let's open up a
Duplicates.
franchise. Let's see what it is.
We could.
Let's explore it.
We could open up a Radio Shack. Ryan Nobles from CNN will be on as well later on this morning. And there was that story you were working about in Camden yesterday. Did we get anywhere on that?
I never heard back from the school district.
All right, so maybe
we'll have
they're.
to maybe discuss how to.
Well, I do want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I cannot believe.
Shocked. I was. Admittedly.
And we received calls yesterday from parents in the Camden Central School District. I spoke with people. Now there might be a logical explanation here, and I threw out a couple, and I'll do that again. But I just can't believe that this would even end up on the school's website, let alone a push notification being pushed out to parents, which is what we're told they received. Apparently, there's a student that passed away at the Camden Central School. Oh. And the student, the announcement on, what we were able to read was from the website.
It was from the school district website.
You have that
publicly
hinting
accessible.
for you to pick it up, to bring it up.
Yeah.
So you could read from it. But it basically said, we regret to inform people that there was a death, mentions the student. And then it says it's death by suicide.
You're kidding me.
Names the student, the day, and the time.
I cannot believe that they would. Now, before it is possible that the parents asked for this to be done this way in hopes of addressing teen suicide. It's possible that this is now a policy by because that's still up there.
It is. I have
It's still on the website. It's possible that was to open a discussion and it is
to be well intended.
I do not believe it is not well intended. Right. I just think that it's something worth discussing. I've never seen a school district release a death in that way. Usually, in the event of suicide, that is something that is kept private to the family. Now, as I said, is there a reason for this? Is
push notification?
It came out. It went out at a push notification.
This has got to be run by a student. I'm not saying there's any malice.
We reached out. I cannot believe, to be honest with you, that after reaching out to the superintendent, we didn't get a call back just to say, "Hey, here's the reason this is up there." But if you're a parent of a student, or if you know anything about this, 315-736-0186. I do think it's worth discussing. I certainly believe that teen suicide is a serious issue that needs to be discussed, and it's all about communication. But is this the answer? Is this the communication that?
And this letter is the line at the bottom says from the principal of the middle school. So that's who the letter was written by. On the website.
Either way, we don't even mention. I mean, if there's a suicide, we don't even cover suicides.
No.
Just because it's a long-standing tradition to keep that information private. But here it is, right there, smack dab, a minor, and right on the school's website. Again, there could be information that we don't know about. I'm pretty sure there is information that we don't know about. So before we all pass judgment, but I feel it's worthy to talk about.